Hello everybody, this is Adigeko coming to you with some news on the Elder Scrolls Legends. Unfortunately, my recording program is acting out, so I am recording this intro separately. This is not like a gameplay thing. We are going to actually go over some new cards from a new expansion. Yes, Houses of Morrowind. And the intro was kind of corrupted, so I am making this intro to add to it. But anyway, let's not take too long and start with the actual news. See you in a bit. Without further ado, we will see our first card here, Dagoth Ur. And the first thing you need to realize when you see this card is that this card has 3 attributes. You may be saying, what? Adigeko, what are you talking about? How can you play 3 attributes in the game? You can only play 2 and maybe some neutral cards, Adigeko. What is this? This, my friends, is the major change in the game mechanics that I was talking about. And now you can play 3 attributes in one deck, but you need to play 75 cards for that to be a possibility. Wait, what? 75? But Adigeko, there are only 70 cards you can play there's a 70 card limit, Adigeko. What are you talking about? Not anymore, my friends. Not anymore, Jimmy. Now you can play up to 100 cards in one deck, regardless of how many attributes you want to play in that game. So, that just happened, guys. Rejoice, I guess. I'm not sure, but we will see on the coming weeks when this expansion drops how this will affect the game. But for now, let's move on to the cards. We have Dagoth Ur, as I said. It's a 12 mana strength, intelligence, agility card, 8/8 power levels, and it has every single goddamn keyword you can put on a creature: breakthrough, charge, drawing, guard, lethal, and ward. And is this very, very powerful? Well, I mean, not really. Look, yeah, we are missing regenerate here. I didn't really realize that. So maybe not that powerful, because you can just javelin this, you know. And since there is no taking this card back from the graveyard, looking at those attributes, I mean, if you ran it all the way to the 12th turn, someone needs to win this game anyway, and might as well be the guy who put a Dagoth Ur who's playing 75 cards at least and happens to draw Dagoth Ur from his deck and manage to get you down to 8 HP possibly. Let him win, man. I don't know. This card seems strong, but not really that strong in my opinion, and you have to play this card, if I'm not mistaken, for the possibility of playing 3 attributes. And by the way, I have almost forgot that this is in the expansion's name, Houses of Morrowind. So we have houses now, and these are house cards. Basically, when you play Dagoth Ur, you are like choosing a house of Dagoth Ur, I don't know. So there is House Redoran, strength, willpower, and endurance. You can imagine some pretty strong combinations with those cards. And from the House Redoran, we have been blessed by the reveal of this card, Knight of Gnesis, or how do you pronounce that? I'm not really sure. It's a dark elf. Rally, summon, put a 2/2 Colovian Trooper with guard in your hand. So what is rally, really? Well, my friends, rallies apparently, whenever a rally creature attacks, it gives a random creature in your hand +1/+1 in your hand, not on the field. So it'll be kind of interesting because again we see a card that affects your hand, and those cards are not very common in the Elder Scrolls Legends card game, but seems like a good fun interaction. Is it very effective? I'm not sure. We'll see. And by the way, for the cost, and it puts a Colovian Trooper in your hand still, for the cost it has not good stats. 3 cost 2/3, not very good. So if it were to summon the Colovian Trooper immediately, maybe it would be very good for 3 cost, but it doesn't. So with the rally effect, if you don't get to use it, even if you do get to use it, it's not very good. I'm not sure. So by putting a Colovian Trooper in your hand, it gives you a creature to give the rally effect basically. So it's good on that front, you know. At least it gives you a creature. If you don't have anything in your hand, you can still benefit from. So we are moving on to the House Telvannian Intelligence, Agility and Endurance house. And from House Telvanni we have Drain Blood, an action 4 cost, give creature -2/-2 with Betray. Now what is Betray is the question here. Betray means you play this action and then you can sacrifice one of your own creatures to activate this action again, but only once in one turn. So first of all, you cannot activate this card after you sent it to the graveyard. So when you play it, you can sacrifice one of your creatures immediately and activate it again, and after that turn you cannot activate it anymore, right? This was a question asked on the stream. If you are curious about that, here's the answer. So this card, is it good? I mean, you can use it with Last Gasp effect, it says here as well. And if you use it with Last Gasp effect, for example Balmora Spymaster, a card that doesn't usually have the ability to attack anyone, which would be, it would be very good, you know, because it is going to be in a house with Intelligence, Agility and Endurance. Endurance maybe not that. No, it's good. The Endurance has some Last Gasp effects as well, and it'll be really good to use on those Last Gasp creatures. This is basically a card to be used on desperate situations or when you want to trigger your Last Gasp effects, etc. like that. And it's an interesting card. I wouldn't sacrifice a normal creature if I'm not really in a bad situation, which requires me to sacrifice a creature, but other than that, it's a fine card. I mean, if you are going to benefit from sacrificing a card, it's an interesting one. We'll see about it. Now we have House Lalu, or I guess Lalu. How do you pronounce that? I'm not sure. We are going to need to answer the most important question sometime. How do you answer these? I mean, pronounce these, whatever. It is strength, willpower and agility, an interesting combination here. And from the House Lalu we have Lalu Sharpshooter at 3 cost, 2/3. Not very good stats for its cost, but it has a good effect. It silences a creature and then deals 1 damage to it Where did we hear this effect? Of course, it is the... Goddamn, I was just... Well, you know the card, okay? Whatever. So, but this card needs you to play another card after you play this card to activate the effect. That's what plot means. So you put this card on the field and then play another creature, another action, another support, another item, anything else really, and then this activates, and then you can use this effect. It is much more cheaper than Earthbound Spinner. I remembered now. It is cheaper than Earthbound Spinner, but it requires you to play another card after playing this, and it has basically its stats reversed. I mean, it's a good card. It's a good card because you will probably play something else anyway after a 3-cost card, unless it's like the 4th or 5th turn or below, you know. And you might as well benefit from this effect. So I think this card will see play in a strength, willpower, agility deck, and any strength deck really this card can still see play. We'll see basically in the upcoming weeks. We have Tribunal, Temple, Intelligence, Willpower, and Endurance. So this is an interesting one. I am teasing you a little with this 5. It has 2 cost, 2/2 with Drain. Very nice. No problems at all so far. But it also has Exalt 3 +2/+2. What does Exalt mean? This is a new keyword. Exalt means, my friends, that you can pay 5 mana for this card, and when you do pay 5 mana, you are going to have this as a 4/4 on the board. Now, I'm not sure if you can silence an Exalt or it just retains its stats, but this is an interesting mechanic. It makes weak cards stronger as the game goes on, so you can benefit from this in early game, benefit from this in mid game, and possibly in late game as well. It's an interesting and very beneficial effect, the Exalt effect. And you know what? You don't have to pay 5 cost for this. You can just play some other cards before it and drop down below 5 mana and play this afterwards, and you would still have a 2/2 with Drain. But if this is the only card in your hand and you have more than 5 mana, it's going to be more beneficial for you. Other than that, yeah, pretty much this Exalt mechanic is a pretty good mechanic. I like it. And here is the teasing card, Vivek, and I am teasing the next one as well. Whatever. Vivek, God card. I was going to talk about this, but I forgot. So we have gods now, so we will possibly see some of the Daedra Lords as well, maybe. We'll see. No speculations for now, that's all. So Vivek is a 5-cost 5/5, good cost, good stats, with the Exalt ability, Exalt 3 +5/+5, so you can pay 8 for 10/10 stats. And while you have this in the game and an exalted creatures in play, you cannot lose that game. Now, I've asked this on stream if Vivek works from the graveyard. Couldn't get an answer, and I would like to get an answer, but whatever. If it doesn't work from the graveyard, when you have other exalted creatures besides Vivek on board, all you need to do is silence or destroy Vivek. So Vivek becomes like something akin to Lydia or a mechanical heart, right? And if it does, however, work from the graveyard once you play it, then it is really strong. Every exalted card becomes a mechanical heart or a Lydia, basically. And this card overall, it's an okay card. I mean, I'm not gonna say it will not see play, but it will not be a meta-defining card, I think. Of course, don't get me wrong, if you're playing exalted cards, you want to play Vivek. So if there happens to be a meta revolving around exalted cards, which there could be because we haven't seen all the cards that are going to be released yet, we have just these 2 exalted cards, and that's why I think like this card may not be that much of a play. But if there is going to be a lot of exalted cards, then we can have an exalted deck style that we see in play, and this would be a very important part of that deck. So in the case of we getting more exalted cards, this card is pretty good. If we do not get more exalted cards, you know. And let's move on to House Dagoth or Dagoth. Dagoth is better, I think. Strength, intelligence, agility. And from this house we have been revealed. Is that how you make that? Is that how you say that? Whatever. We see the Ash Piercer, 5 cost, 3/4, pretty bad stats for its cost, but its effect: deal 3 damage to a creature if you have a creature with 5 or more 5 power or more. Now this is interesting because this means if you're playing aggressive cards such as you see strength, you know, the strength ally, what's its name, I'm not sure, but it could be very effective with this card. So strength basically has a lot of small health but high power cards, and this is what this card is going for. You know, when you play cards with big powers, this card becomes even more powerful. But here is the catch: it is really expensive for its stats. So if you do not have a 5 power or more card on the field, this is just waste of space in your inventory. Sorry, buddy. So this card will see play, don't get me wrong, it is a good card, but with a pretty big catch, you know. So this is all the cards that have been revealed in the article, and we have one more card that is revealed on stream: Arcanon Sayoni, Archcanon Sayoni, whatever. It is the main card of Tribunal Temple House that we've seen, and it is a 4 cost 3/3. Bad stats compared to the cost, but it has the summon ability: choose a blessing from one of the Tribunal gods. Exalt 3. If you pay 7 for this, gain all 3 blessings instead. So we have blessings. Almexia's blessing: give a friendly creature drain and guard. Sotosil's blessing: summon a spider worker. Vivek's blessing: give other friendly creatures +1/+1. Now The best one, in my opinion, is of course Almaxia's Blessing, because you can give a relatively large creature plus a relatively large creature drain and guard, which would be very, very effective. And the worst one is probably Sotasil's Blessing, summon a Spider Worker. I mean, sure, but then what, right? This is not very effective in many decks if you're like playing a Dwarven deck, and if you're playing a Dwarven deck, I'm not sure if you can play the Dwarven deck, because where is it? Like here it's somewhere. Yeah. You may not play with cards of any other attributes when you play a 3 attribute deck. So if that means you cannot play neutral cards, then this doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, I think it draws you a card, but still, just playing this for drawing a card doesn't make much sense if you do not have like a really empty hand and nothing else to do, and an empty board as well, because I would still rather do this. In my opinion, it's better. And this is good for, of course, Vivek's Blessing is good for token decks, and you can see the main token colors here. Yellow, of course, willpower, and the original token deck, yellow purple, which is to say willpower and endurance. And then we got the mage token deck, which is, you can just do it all, man. It's gonna be insane with this thing, with this card, with this house, with this 3 attribute system. We will see some really, really insane decks, I think. And you know what, I'm excited for it. But still, 75 cards is a considerable buff, not buff, considerable drawback, because it reduces your chances of drawing cards that will result in good combos significantly. But still, if you're playing a token deck, this may not be a problem, because basically you want to play a lot of creatures and you want to buff them, right? So many creatures and many buff cards, you just draw some buff cards and creatures. That's the combo, right? And whether it be 50 cards or 75 cards, you are probably going to do that, and now you have an extra color that you can add. It's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. I can't wait to see how this will affect the gameplay overall. And this is my review for now for these revealed cards of the House of Morrowind, my friends. And let me know what you think down below in the comments. I am really interested to know about people's opinions on this. And if you like this video, feel free to leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this, you can check out my channel or subscribe to me for future videos. Sorry about not posting videos in a long time, because I had my university and exams and stuff like that, and I couldn't make time. But this is an important development, so I am going to push this in to my program. And my program actually is chilling out, let's say. I will have more free time in the future, so I can post more videos in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a nice one. Adigeko out.